I recently went on a journey to the Northwest Territories during the heart of winter. Join me as I reflect on that voyage. On the surface, I was in search of an understanding of water. Canada's north is a place that has vast interconnected water systems, extreme temperatures, and stunning landscapes. These are, of course, impacted by what we, as humans, do on the land. While searching for a better understanding of water, I found something more profound. An understanding of how our humanity resembles the interconnectedness of water. The way water changes state from liquid to solid to vapor as conditions change shows us that nothing happens in isolation. Nowhere is there a more clear demonstration of this reality than in Canada's north. Just as water changes, so too must we adapt to ensure that the systems that have sustained us can be nurtured. We must learn together, rebuilding connections to each other like the waterways. The places you find at 60 degrees north are always interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about Moccasin Square Gardens in just a minute. There's even a book about it. My journey took me to Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, which was established as a water transportation link bypassing a series of rapids. Upon arriving in this place, a visceral sense of lighter shoulders hit me. It was like being with purity, almost an existential comfort where I was just me, transparent and exposed to the elements physically and psychologically. From where does justice flow? From where do we become our true form as imperfect beings in a fallen paradise? To what other systems are we connected? And in what form do we arrive at perhaps new lands that demand a change in our own phase? How do we meet this challenge in our own fragile state? Walking as the snow began to fall revealed the same sense of calming vulnerability, peaceful but unforgiving, frozen water floating gently around me and settling underfoot. I found myself embracing the cold air, as if feeling exposed was the only real way to feel alive. As if existence depends on acknowledging our own limitations. As if to be seen by nature through taking direct part in it. Finding a way to just be. A new day brings Rayleigh scattering shows of brilliant colors to the sky. January in the north presents short windows of light and astounding sunrises and sunsets with the sun low in the sky. Amazingly, in mid-January, the temperature here hit plus 4 degrees Celsius and the area was hit by freezing rain. Just 8 days later, it would hit minus 46 degrees Celsius, a 50-degree change in 8 days. These degrees of separation only serve as a reminder that we are never separated from nature, and perhaps serves to demonstrate how critical our connection to others can be. The rapids along the river next to Fort Smith are always in motion. This rapid motion is not even stopped by the frigid temperatures here. There's enough open water for water vapor to rise high in the sky, even while the air temperature is -30 or colder. As humans, we too must find ways to keep moving through extreme conditions. I spent time at Moccasin Square Gardens, which is the term the community uses for this beautiful meeting space. There's even a book about it and some news articles that I've linked in the description. Here, I gathered a sense of many shared experiences over many years, be it joy, grief, happiness, sadness, playfulness, and calm, all shared by community. This power was felt in that space. The next leg of the journey was a 700-kilometer drive from Fort Smith to Yellowknife through heavy snow and high winds. I am forever grateful for Chris and Kevin, who did all the hard work of safely driving us through these conditions. Once again, the elements of the North provided inspiration for contemplating human survival in such conditions. Surrounded by walls of snowy nothingness, it's as if the natural elements exposed existence itself, bringing awareness to the things we can control and those we cannot even influence. This is where we find the difference between necessity and futility. As the drive carried on, the weather cleared some, revealing stirring creatures having a midday meal. The drive took us across the Dacho Bridge, a crossing that replaces ice roads and ferries across the Mackenzie River. Here too is rapidly moving water, leaving open water flowing in some places, with the majority of the river covered in vast icy fields. The river always finds the right path, flowing north to the Arctic Ocean, determined to find a way home. Here, the connection of water is felt everywhere, as if the Mackenzie River Basin collects us all in its arms and shows us the way home. Can we give ourselves to nature in this way? Or do we resist, convinced that we can overcome the inevitable? Seeing the vast span of the Mackenzie under a low midday sun, I felt belonging by surrendering to this void, a deep truth revealed once again through acknowledging human limits. The next day started with a flight to the most beautiful place I have ever been. Flying is the only practical way to arrive in Lutsel K'e on the shores of the lake. There are no words that capture a rising moon over a setting sun at 62 degrees north. Heading back to Yellowknife in the cold night air revealed dazzling lights that would give way to a bright, cold January day. In Yellowknife, the bustling surface of the frozen lake serves as a critical pathway for people traveling, as well as a unique yard hosting houses. Here, the ice is a convenience, providing shortcuts around tortuous paths around the rugged terrain of Great Slave Lake. It might seem so obvious that it's easy to miss. Here again, we interact with water, now relying on its strength as a solid to carry us home. Water carrying us not by flowing currents, but by its strength in the face of extreme cold. All the while below the ice, the liquid water remains rich with life. Once we embrace the way things are, we can understand how to be an active participant, going where the water takes us. The surface of the ice also serves as a winter gathering spot, with an ice castle that hosts varied events and venues, as if embracing the elements provides a way to commune with nature and each other. From the liquid water far below, to the water vapor forming clouds in the sky, to the solid road that supports our being, water surrounds us. So too is water within us, making up a critical component of our human forms. These water molecules modulate our consciousness, carrying signals throughout us. These water molecules form bridges for us to cross, flowing paths for us to follow, and vapor that fills our skies. Each form responds to the temperature and pressure, becoming exactly what is needed. From within and from without, we can be one with water. If we can find our way to embrace our essence by setting aside our desire to be comfortable, our desire to stay static in all conditions, our desire to be independent of external conditions, and to be perceived as strong. The greatest strength flows from truth, the truth that the elements within and around us demonstrate how deep our interconnectedness runs. Without that connection, can we feel our humanity? Or is it numbed by the cold air? It was a perfect day for a bird's eye view of Yellowknife from the rock. Now the site of the Bush Pilots Monument, the rock held water tanks for Old Town Yellowknife. Even atop this high point, water is central, as if embedding our essence in stone will preserve our fragility from the elements. Embracing water is embracing life. It's time to feel exposed, transparent to nature, and fully aware of who we are and what we are here to do.